was 17, I stumbled upon magic mushrooms, and I'm now 52, so that is more than 33 years ago. And I was intrigued by the books of Carlos Castaneda, The Lesson of Don Juan. So it's the first Western spiritual book, came out in the 60s, I believe, 50s, 60s. So I was intrigued by that, stumbled upon the magic mushrooms, wanted to try them, and I suddenly had this beautiful experience, of course, and saw the potential healing power of psychedelics in general. And one of my first insight that I had with these mushrooms was like, okay, don't take the story that I tell myself who I am too seriously. So I didn't. So that was a great insight already, sort of a universal insight. Later on, I read Eckhart Tolle, and he was mentioning about, okay, don't identify with your thoughts. You are much more than that. Yeah, when I was 17, I had that first insight already. It gave me a positive boost in my life. So yeah, I never let it go, and I was the only one that had access in my village and so in the area to LSD and magic mushrooms. So before I knew it, people wanted to try it, but not alone. So if I could participate, so every 2 weeks I had a full agenda of guiding people through their journey, and of course there was no such thing as trip sitters. So I participated myself also. So yeah, I've been doing that for 33 years, and then in 2015, I stumbled upon microdosing. So yeah, but that's a different story, of course. In 2016, when I stumbled upon microdosing, and I collaborated with Psychedelic Society in the Netherlands, I started to see how real ceremonies were about, really official. So my guidings were really informal. Uh, I don't want to say recreational, but let's say went to the beach or in the forest, made a beautiful fire, had some music on, and yeah, make a safe setting. But it was also always outside and in nature, and or sometimes at festivals or concerts also. So that's what I meant with informal sessions. But that it led me to really get experience when things are a bit like, if you don't have a real safe container, for instance, at a festival or a concert, you really have to pay attention to people that are doing a high dose, So yeah, that experience really helped me to with my microdosing guiding also. But yeah, we had some strange experiences, like got into a fight, or yeah, at concerts, you lost each other, those kind of things, So yeah, it was sort of a challenge. So nowadays, I really pay attention to building a safe container in the safe environment with the right mindset. But yeah, back in the days, we were just experimenting. Yeah, it's like my main core focus is microdosing. Yeah, so but I believe that microdosing will be playing a role in the aftercare, or let's say the integration phase of these high dose journeys, or maybe as a preparation tool for people that are a little bit anxious to try high dose journey. So then microdosing is really helpful. But yeah, because we have a large community, and they ask when they have like a microdosing trajectory, and let's dive into that later on, what microdosing really is. But um, yeah, they ask like, hey, do you know someone who can facilitate a high dose journey? Because I'm really interested in diving a little bit more deeper. So yeah, we have a whole therapist network and facilitator network around that. So sometimes we organize high dose retreats in the Netherlands with truffles, where truffles are completely legal. They contain psilocybin, similar as the magic mushrooms. And so yeah, we made a beautiful documentary about it also 2 years ago. It's on our homepage of Microdosing Institute website, but yeah, on a beautiful land property in nature from Hugo Forest. So it's great to collaborate also with different organizations and different people that are in the psychedelic field. Yeah, to
Yeah.
provide from a harm reduction perspective, to provide a safe way to experience this. Yeah, it's I stumbled upon microdosing in 2015. It was very early, let's say. My best friend, who suffered from cluster headaches, and I've been guiding him since 20 years with high doses of psilocybin to abort or decrease his cycles of cluster headaches. For people who don't know what it is, it's a very severe headache, uh, like brain freeze from ice, but then times 20, and then 1.5 hour long, and then in cycles of 3 to 4 or 5, maybe 8 a day. So it's very severe. They also call it suicide headache, and so yeah, he benefited from these high dose journeys, but although it was not a miracle cure or so, sometimes he was too late. So he got isolated back in 2014 a lot. And it didn't, sometimes it helped him, sometimes it was too late, it's hard to plan. So yeah, unfortunately, he decided to step out of life. And so I was very shocked, of course. And then I wanted to turn it around into sort of like a positive thing. I checked in, I did research on why it was sort of a medicine for these people. And I wanted to find out if microdosing, when I stumbled upon it, it would be a preventive medicine. So these people uh, didn't have to trip, but take it during the day, and sort of like a paracetamol, have a sort of a preventive medicine. So I wanted to find out. But yeah, how do you find out? Of course, first try it for myself. I don't have cluster headaches, and I was very skeptical because I saw all these benefits on online already, and I believe I found 26 benefits on the internet, and I was like, this is a miracle cure. And I believed in the potential healing power of high doses, but I was very skeptical at first. So I started to experiment with myself, and yeah, after 3 weeks, it felt like sort of an inner revolution, or I'm very happy, I'm very positive. So it was very subtle, but I felt sort of a micro shift in my perspective after 3 weeks. And then I was like, oh, this is a great tool for people who coach other people and have problems with their clients to associate in their feelings and their emotions or whatever. So I thought, okay, let's build a community around it. Because the first time I took that microdose, I took a little bit too much. I had the insight of let's claim all the domain names and start a website around it, because there was only one website, the third wave, back in the days, and he was only starting for 1 month. Then I contacted Jim Fadiman, who is the rediscoverer of microdosing. And I emphasize rediscoverer, but because an anthropologist reminded him that he was not the discoverer, because in the indigenous tribes, or of course, already took microdoses or like doses in very small amounts. They just didn't call it microdosing for hunting, for medicinal purposes, and those kind of things. So yeah, I got in contact with him, and inspired by his work, we started to collaborate, and he's a mentor ever since and a friend, and gather anecdotal stories, because people were doing it, and we wanted to find out why people are doing it, and what the pros and cons were. And I wanted to build a bridge to the researchers, because I'm not a researcher, but really wanted to find out if it would be a preventive medicine for, in first case, cluster headaches, but I soon came to find out that people with ADHD, burnout, depression, OCD, PMS also could benefit from it. And yeah, that's how it started, let's say. Yeah.